Hey everyone, Steven, TheSalonGuy here, and today I want to talk about fine, thin hair and different types of hairstyles that will work best for you, some maintenance tips and things like that, because I get a lot of people leaving comments saying, Steven, I have, very, very fine, straight hair. It lays flat all the time. What can I do to get a certain type of hairstyle? So when it comes to what hairstyles you can get, you have a few different options, whether you're male or female. A pixie cut, right, or a cropped haircut. That's good. You may not think, but because you have finer hair, meaning it's not so dense. Well, some products like a powder, like my product talc, or anything that really kind of binds the hair or thickens the hair, actually it is good for that haircut or that hair type. So when you're using those products, it actually makes your hair appear thicker, and you're able to do quite a bit with a shorter hairstyle if you've got finer hair texture. I actually prefer to work on a fine, now I don't mean like thin or your hair is thinning, okay? That's a whole other video I'll do or I've done on in the past. But when your hair is fine, it just means that the hair strands individually are not as thick. You can have a ton of fine hair, and let me know in the comments if you are one of those individuals who has loads and loads of hair, but the strand itself is fine. And how do you know if you have fine hair versus, say, really, really thick hair or dense hair? Well, fine hair, if you take an individual hair strand, right, if you just look at it, and you'll be able to see that it's very, very fine, right? It's not so thick compared to if you've got very, very thick hair. It just feels more coarse and it's a lot denser. I mean, you think it's kind of common sense, but I've told people, like, you have a ton of hair, but it's very, very fine. Fine hair also has a tendency to break sometimes, or what we call breakage, where the hair just snaps. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you or your hair, it's in its fragile state, and that's pretty common. So if you're getting a lot of hair that's maybe breaking or seeing a lot more hair than usual or compared to other people, it's because of the texture itself. It's very, very normal. So if you're getting a cropped short haircut, whether it's, if you're a guy or girl, like a fade, like a number 1 or a 2, whatever, faded up into the top, where the top is maybe 1.5 inches long or 2 inches long, you'll be able to use products like that, like a powder or something, in order to make it look thicker, all right? So you're in pretty good shape there. Now, as the hair gets longer, right, with any hair type, the hair wants to weigh down. So I get a lot of comments from people saying, my hair parts in the middle all the time, it's very fine, it's very thin or whatever, what do I do? That's gonna happen no matter what. If you had, tons and tons of super thick hair and you're growing your hair out, it's going to split on the side or the middle, wherever the natural parting is. So don't be ashamed or freaked out that your hair always wants to split and part down the middle. That's just the way hair is, right? And what you can do to fix that issue is you may have to change up the way you style your hair, meaning you may have to start doing a side part to get more volume. Find which side works better for you and for your face shape, and which is more natural. I've done videos on hair growth, right? The way the hair grows, that's a big contributing factor in your hair, because if it's growing forward and you try to brush it back, it's going to want to poke right out. So it's the same thing. If you're brushing your hair grows this way and you blow dry it and brush it over this way, it's going to create a lot of volume because you're going the opposite way of where your hair grows and how it grows. So that's another little trick, is just going the opposite. When it comes to the haircut itself, go shorter. I mean, go short, like I mentioned before, a more cropped or a spiky type textured haircut, and that's going to help fight that off, because the longer your hair gets, the more it's going to want to just hang straight down. It's like gravity, right? Everything just wants to come down this way. It's very, very normal, and don't be ashamed of it or freaked out by it. That's what fine hair especially wants to do. Also products, so maybe using a thickening shampoo, thickening conditioner. My volume set works great for that. The pure set works great for that. Using volumizing products like a mousse or 25 spray or something that's really gonna, or my Tidal Wave sea salt spray, those are really gonna help your hair when it comes to building that foundation. And I talk about this a lot in my videos where I say you need to build that solid foundation for your hairstyle when you're styling it, all right? And when you do that, it's just gonna help the process. It's gonna help get more volume in your hair, and you're gonna achieve what you're looking for, most likely, all right? Most likely it's going to help you very, very much. Then you're going into blow drying techniques, and sometimes you just have to put that effort in. Now, if you are an individual who wants to wear their hair longer and they want to grow it out, but you're still complaining that your hair is very, very thin and it doesn't do anything, it just hangs straight down. Well, again, that's your choice. The only other thing you can do is maybe, tease your hair a bit to get more volume. Put it in like rollers or something, or maybe get a body wave. It's just, you have to do things opposite. Like if you're overweight, you lose weight. If you're not eating enough, you eat more. I mean, it's like you do what the opposite is of what's not happening. So in that case, again, think about it. You're trying to grow your hair out. It's always gonna weigh down and fall in the middle. That's the chances you take with trying to grow your hair out. So just weigh out the options. It's that simple. Like, what do you really want with your hair? You have to make sacrifices. So many people who have super straight hair sometimes want wavy or curly hair, and then people with curly hair want smooth, silky, straight hair. I've been hearing it since I've been in the industry. It's very, very common. For women's hair, if you've got fine hair, a lot of times women will resort to getting a fringe or bangs to kind of help camouflage some of that. That could work, but at the same time, you have to have such a heavy, thick fringe, meaning you have to pull the hair from way back here to come forward to thicken that area up. Just imagine if you take a section of hair that's already fine and you cut bangs, it's just gonna look like a very light curtain of hair. It's gonna be very see-through, and it's not gonna make that area look thicker. The more hair you bring back from the top of your head here into that section, just think about it. You're adding layers and layers of hair to create that thickness. That's what you're gonna have to do, right? In order to create a thicker type of fringe or bang area. As far as the haircuts go, again, the longer you have your hair, the more it's gonna weigh it down. Sometimes layers help, depending on if you've got the right layers. You can get, and ladies, let me know if you've had this happen to you, where you get a haircut, your hair's already kind of fine, and the hairstylist layers it so badly that your hair looks twice as thin, right, as it was before. And I've literally watched it in the salons I've worked in numerous situations where I've said, oh boy, that's gonna be trouble, because I can tell when the stylist is cutting a certain way, and then when they finish, or even haircuts I've gone over from other stylists, I'm like, man, like you could see just the hair is so thinned out. It's because of the way the stylist is layering it. And I've actually done videos on that explaining why that happens. So just be very careful with the layering process. Don't want to have your hair too long. If you do, make sure you have some layers. Maybe use like rollers, right? And again, use the same kind of volumizing products to help. Pixie cuts work really well. And also bobs, like one length or angled bobs coming this way with some texture, some volume really helps. So I guess to wrap it up, you got to find someone who really understands that hair texture and weigh out the options. That's like give or take. You can't have super, super long hair if your hair is very fine and it's parted down the middle and it just keeps weighing down. Like, it's not going to work. If you're cool with it, then that's great. Maybe tuck one side behind the ear. If you want that classic Leonardo DiCaprio haircut where it's down the middle and, just flows beautifully, you can have fine hair for a lot of hairstyles. It really comes down to the density. Is it thin, right? Or is it thinning? So that's what I'm saying. You can have, people get freaked out. My hair's so thin or so fine and blah, blah. It's totally cool. If you have a lot of it, you're in good shape. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below any interaction you may have or questions, or let me know if I touch on a few things that you're like, oh my gosh, Steven, you're totally right on that. I appreciate all support. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. and I'll see you next time for more videos with the Salon Guy.